Everyone wants to be untouchable. Not the word, the feeling, the version of yourself that doesn't flinch, that doesn't shrink, that walks into a room and holds something no one can quite name and no one can take. Most women have been told that's a look, a mood board, an aesthetic. It's not. Untouchable is not a costume. And after this video, you're going to understand exactly what it is and exactly how to build it. Here's what most women do when they want to feel powerful. They create distance. They master the cold stare. They become hard to reach, hard to read, hard to get. They curate the dark aesthetic, the black outfits, the guarded energy, the mystery. And on a mood board, that looks like power. But here's what nobody tells you. Distance is not magnetism. Distance is just distance. A woman who is hard to access is not automatically compelling. She's just difficult. And difficult is not the same thing as untouchable. The women you actually can't forget. The ones who walk into a room and something shifts. They're not performing distance. They're not guarded. They're not managing an image. They're doing something completely different, something that has no name on TikTok. And that's exactly why most women can't replicate it, because they've been chasing the wrong thing. Take Zendaya and Rihanna, two women the internet keeps pointing to as the definition of magnetic power. And I get it, there's something about both of them that is impossible to ignore, something that feels rare, something you can't quite name. But watch them closely. Neither of them perform mystery, neither of them create distance. They're not hard to access, they're actually incredibly present. They listen, they respond, they laugh, they're warm. What they don't do is negotiate themselves in real time. They don't scan the room to figure out who they need to be. They don't shrink when someone challenges them. They don't expand to impress anyone. They are the same women, completely, consistently. Whether on a red carpet, in a candid interview, or walking through an airport at 6 a.m. That is not an aesthetic. That is something psychologists call emotional self-trust. And it produces something I want you to hold on to for the rest of this video. She is harder to destabilize, not harder to access. Harder to destabilize, not harder to access. That is the difference between a woman who performs power and a woman who actually is it. That is what untouchable really means. So what does emotional self-trust actually look like? In practice, in real rooms, with real people. 3 markers. None of them are an aesthetic. All of them are the foundation of real, untouchable power. Marker 1, stability without performance. Most women manage how they come across, constantly, in every room, in every conversation, monitoring how they sound, how they look, what the other person is thinking. Whether they're too much or not enough, it's exhausting, and it's invisible to everyone except them. Women who are truly untouchable have stopped doing that, not because they don't care about people, but because their sense of self doesn't depend on the read they're getting from the room. Their stability is not a performance of calm. It is actual calm. It comes from knowing who they are when no one is watching and being the same person when everyone is. That's what you feel when you're around them. The absence of management, the absence of effort, and that absence is irresistible because it's so rare. Marker 2, the absence of internal negotiation. Here's something most people never talk about. The most magnetic women in any room are not negotiating with themselves. Think about what internal negotiation sounds like. Should I say this? Will it be too much? What will they think? Maybe I should soften it. Maybe I should wait. That negotiation is constant for most women, and other people can feel it, even when they can't name it. It creates a low-level static, a sense that you're not quite fully there. Women who are untouchable have quieted that voice, not by force, not by becoming hard, but by building enough trust in their own perspective that they don't need to run it through a committee of imagined opinions before they speak. The absence of internal negotiation is what makes a woman feel solid, present, like she takes up exactly the space she takes up. No more, no less. That is what untouchable feels like from the inside. Marker 3, decisions made from the inside out. The last marker is about how she moves through the world. Untouchable women make decisions from the inside out, not how will this look, but does this align with what I actually want? And then, this is the part that changes everything. She lets her life make the argument. She doesn't explain her choices. She doesn't justify her direction. She doesn't defend her decisions to people who didn't ask. Zendaya doesn't explain why she takes the roles she takes. Rihanna didn't explain Savage x Fenty before it existed. Their lives explained it. Their results explained it. Inside out decisions, over time, build a gravity that no aesthetic can manufacture. And women who move like that don't need to announce themselves. The room already knows. You know what untouchable actually is now. You felt the difference between the performance and the real thing. The only question left is where to start. Not with the aesthetic, with the actual foundation. 3 moves beginning today. 1. Make one small decision today without running it by the imaginary committee. What to order, what to wear, how to respond. Just ask yourself, what do I actually want, and go with that. Every time you do this, you're building the muscle of internal trust. That muscle over time becomes your gravity. 2. The next time someone offers you an unsolicited opinion about how you live, receive it as information about them, not data about you. Their discomfort with your choices tells you about their limits. It says nothing about your direction. 3. Practice presence without performance. In your next conversation, resist the urge to manage how you're coming across. Just be there, fully. And notice how different that feels for you and for the person you're talking to. Untouchable is not a mood board. It's not the black aesthetic. It's not the cold stare. It's not being hard to get. It's being impossible to destabilize. It's making decisions from the inside out. It's showing up the same in every room, at every hour, whether anyone is watching or not. That is what Zendaya has, what Rihanna has, what every woman you've ever met and couldn't quite forget has. And it's not something you perform. It's something you build. Start today.